Hello, family of this YouTube channel. Please share this video with your friends and hit the subscribe, like, and ring buttons and put your valuable comments. The systematic process of research. In this video, I will present to you the scientific research process. Here, there are around 11 steps presented. We will see them step by step. What are the series actions to be taken while doing a business research? Research process consists of series of actions or steps necessary to effectively carry out research and the desired sequencing of these steps. The research process is similar to undertaking a journey. For a research journey, there are two important decisions to make. Number 1, what you want to find out about or what research questions, problems, you want to find answers. Number 2, how to go about finding their answers. There are practical steps through which you must pass in your research journey in order to find answers to your research questions. The path to finding answers to your research questions constitutes research methodology. At each operational step in the research process, you are required to choose from a multiplicity of methods, procedures, and models of research methodology which will help you to best achieve your objectives. This is where your knowledge base of research methodology plays a crucial role. Step 1. Formulating the research problem. It is the first and most crucial step in the research process. Main function is to decide what you want to find out about. The way you formulate a problem determines almost every step that follows. In other words, a problem defined is half solved. It involves the following steps. 1. Statement of the problem in a general way. 2. Understanding the nature of the problem. 3. Surveying the available literature. 4. Developing the idea through discussion. 5. Rephrasing the research problem into a working proposition. What are the sources of a research problems? Research in social sciences revolves around 4 Ps, such as people, problem, programs, and phenomena. In practice, most research studies are based upon at least a combination of 2 Ps. Every research study has 2 aspects. FIST, study population. People, individuals, organizations, groups, communities. They provide you with the information or you collect information about them. Second, subject area. Problems, issues, situations, associations, needs, profiles. Program, content, structure, outcomes, attributes, satisfactions, consumers, service providers, etc. to evaluate the effectiveness of an intervention. Phenomenon, cause and effect relationships, the study of a phenomenon itself. Alternatively, we may follow the following steps. Steps in formulation of a research problem. Step 1. Identify a broad field or subject area of interest to you. Step 2. Dissect the broad area into sub-areas. Step 3. Select what is of most interest to you. Step 4. Raise research questions. Step 5. Formulate objectives. Step 6. Assess your objectives. Step 7. Double-check. Considerations in selecting a research problem. While we are doing a research, we have to take into account your interest, magnitude, measurement of concept, level of expertise, relevance, availability of data, and ethical issues. Step 2. Extensive literature review. Once the problem is formulated, a brief summary of it should be written down. Essential preliminary task in order to acquaint yourself with the available body of knowledge in your area of interest. It is an integral part of entire research process and makes valuable contribution to every operational step. Can be time-consuming, discouraging, and frustrating, but is also rewarding. Literature review has the following functions such as bringing clarity and focus to the research problem, improving the methodology, broadening the researcher knowledge in the research area, and contextualize your findings. Step 3. Formulation of objectives. Objectives are the goals you set out to attain in your study. They inform a reader what you want to attain through the study. It is extremely important to word them clearly and specifically. Objectives should be listed under two headings like main objective, aim, and sub-objectives. The main objective is an overall statement of the thrust of your study. It is also a statement of the main associations and relationships that you seek to discover or establish. The wording of objectives determines the type of research, descriptive, correlation and experimental, and the type of research design you need to adopt to achieve them. The sub-objectives are the specific aspects of the topic that you want to investigate within the main framework of your study. They should be numerically listed. Wording should clearly, completely, and specifically communicate to your readers your intention. Each objective should contain only one aspect of the study. Use action-oriented words or verbs when writing objectives. The objectives should start with words such as to determine, to find out, to ascertain, to measure, to explore, to investigate, etc. Descriptive studies deal with describing the types of incentives provided by Hotel XYZ to employees in Semra. To find out the opinion of the employees about the medical facilities provided by 2-star hotels in Semra. Correlational studies to ascertain the impact of training on employee retention. To compare the effectiveness of different loyalty programs on repeat clientele. Hypothesis testing studies to ascertain if an increase in working hours will increase the incidence of drug or alcohol abuse. To demonstrate that the provision of company accommodation to employees in Addis Ababa hotels will reduce staff turnover. Step 4. Development of working hypothesis. After extensive literature survey, researchers should state in clear terms the working hypothesis. It is tentative assumption made in order to draw out and test its logical or empirical consequences. Hypotheses should be very specific and limited to the piece of research in hand because it has to be tested. The role of hypotheses is to guide the researcher by outlining the area of research and keep him or her on the right track. It sharpens his thinking and focuses attention on the more important facets of the problem. It also indicates the type of data and the type of methods of data analysis to be used. Step 5. Preparing the research design. Research design is defined as a blueprint or detailed plan for how research's study is to be completed, operationalizing variables so they can be measured, selecting a sample of interest to study, collecting data to be used as a basis for testing hypothesis and analyzing the results. It is the complete scheme or program of the research. A research design should include the study design, the logistical arrangements that you purpose to undertake, the measurement procedures, the sampling strategy, the frame of analysis and time frame. Step 6. Determining sampling design. All the items under consideration in any field of inquiry constitute a universe or population. A complete enumeration of all the items in the population is known as a census inquiry. Because of the difficulty, relative inaccuracy and brassiness related to census study determining sample, few elements from the population, becomes mandatory. In such cases, the researcher must decide the way of selecting a sample. Samples can be either probability samples or non-probability samples. Step 7. Collecting the data. There are several ways of collecting the appropriate data which differ considerably in context of money, costs, time and other resources at the disposal of the researcher. Primary data can be collected either through experiments or through survey. In the case of a survey, data can be collected by any one of the following specific ways: observation, interview, questionnaire, focus group discussion, telephonic surveys, face-to-face surveys, and online surveys. Step 8. Processing and analysis of data. Processing and analyzing data involves a number of closely related operations which are performed with the purpose of summarizing the collected data and organizing these in a manner that they answer the research questions, objectives. The analysis of data requires a number of closely related operations such as establishment of categories, coding, tabulation, and drawing statistical values. Step 9. Hypothesis testing. After analyzing the data, the researcher is in a position to test the hypothesis, if any, she had formulated earlier. Do the facts support the hypotheses, or they happen to be contrary? Various tests, such as chi-square test, t-test, f-test may be applied. Step 10. Generalizations and Interpretation. If a hypothesis is tested and upheld several times, it may be possible for the researcher to arrive at generalization, i.e., to build a theory. As a matter of fact, the real value of research lies in its ability to arrive at certain generalizations. If the researcher had no hypothesis to start with, he might seek to explain his findings on the basis of some theory. It is known as interpretation. The process of interpretation may quite often trigger off new questions, which in turn may lead to further researches. Step 11. Preparation of the research report. Finally, the researcher has to prepare the report of what has been done by him following the appropriate formats and appropriate language. The report informs the world what you have done, what you have discovered, and what conclusions you have drawn from your findings. Thank you for watching this video and following us.